We do the intro again?
Yeah. Wait, this is 8, right?
Yeah, episode 8.
I'm so fucking ready to be done. Oh my god.
Okay, well, you still have an hour.
Yeah. Oh, we're chilling. Home stretch. Okay, here we go. Welcome back to the Carrot and the Fro podcast. This is episode number 8. Today we're going to be talking about the Pacers.
Indianapolis Pacers. Okay, so Pacers have been really mediocre over the past 10 years or so. They have had a lot of roster changes, starting with trading Paul George to Oklahoma City for Victor Oladipo and Domantas Sabonis, which might be one of the best trades in NBA history for the Pacers, not for the Thunder, because it didn't really work out for them. They ended up trading him 2 seasons later, or was it the next offseason he went to LAC? I think it was the next offseason.
He resigned, and then I think he went to LAC. I think that was a free agency. I don't even think that was...
You're right. It was a sign and trade, because
trade.
that's how OKC got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Uh-huh.
But regardless, so this year the Pacers finished 35-47, which surprised a lot of people. Nobody thought the Pacers would be as good as they were, which is saying something because they were still not good. They were not good at all. They were the 11th seed. They missed the play-in tournament, missed the playoffs completely. Mostly in part to the fact that the team is just not good. But that is a good thing for the Pacers. They've been in this purgatory state of the 6th, 7th, and 8th seed for so long with Domantas Sabonis, where their team didn't have young players that were getting any better, but their team also didn't have old players that were getting any worse. So they were always just kind of okay. They were never great. They were never a team that anybody thought was going all the way to win a championship, was the problem. And so eventually they decided, we're just going to blow it up, and they trade, in a blockbuster, surprising trade, they trade Domantas Sabonis for current All-Star guard Tyrese Halliburton, which is actually one of the best trades in NBA history. So far, it has worked out for both teams. And Tyrese Halliburton has been great for the Pacers in his, year and a half he's been there. Right. He's been absolutely amazing. Him and Buddy Hield, and then Benedict Mathurin came in this year and was a big surprise. You have players like O'Shea Brissett and Jalen Smith. You've got Chris Duarte, who's young. He doesn't get many minutes, but when he does play, they're really impactful minutes. You've got Miles Turner, who's the second best player on the team. He's one of the better centers in the league. So there's a lot to look forward to with this team, especially considering the fact that they've got the 7th overall pick in this draft, where they could get a quality guard to back up Tyrese Halliburton like Ausar Thompson. You have Benedict Mathurin, but there's the question of what his ceiling is and how good he could be in the future. So you want to try and draft somebody to fill that, because it gets to the point where if Benedict Mathurin becomes good enough, then Ausar Thompson could move over to the 3 spot and play the small forward position for the Pacers. And then you have a pretty okay lineup in 3 years of, Tyrese Halliburton, you've got Benedict Mathurin, you've got Ausar Thompson, you've got Isaiah Jackson, you've got Miles Turner, assuming Miles Turner even wants to stay in Indiana, which I think he's made clear he does, especially after, because the question was, will they trade Miles Turner or will they trade Domantas Sabonis? And they chose to ride Miles Turner and see him through. So yeah, you've got these really quality young players on this team, that in a couple of years will be really good. I think the Pacers have a really bright future. Tyrese Halliburton, the way he passes the ball, I've been to, I think I went to 4 Pacers games this season, and just watching Tyrese Halliburton play, watching the way he passes the ball and the way he does it so effortlessly, he makes it look so easy, and he's so young. He's only 23, going on 24 years old sometime next year. On February 29th next year, he'll be 24. So there's a lot to look forward to with Tyrese Halliburton. Great floor general, great scorer, one of the best three-point shooters in the league. I believe he averaged 40+% from 3 this season, which from a point guard is just absolute lights-out shooting. It's just wonderful to see from my point guard. Averaging 20 points. I believe he averaged somewhere like 10 assists probably. averaging 21 points, 10 assists, 4 rebounds, shooting almost 50% from the field. which from a point guard who is taking most of your team's shots is absolutely crazy. Half the time the ball leaves Tyrese Halliburton's hands, it goes in the net. It goes in the basket, which, from a center is easy, but from a guard who's taking most of his shots on the perimeter or in the mid-range area is absolutely insane. He's giving you 87% from the free throw line. There's just a lot to look forward to with Tyrese Halliburton, especially being so young. He has so many years left in this league, and more importantly, he's not an injury-prone player. He'll come in and he'll play, 56 of the 82 games, which, isn't that good in the past. But nowadays, if I'm getting 56 games out of my best player, that's a win. You have players like LeBron who played less than half the season. You've got players like Anthony Davis who sometimes played 30 games if you're lucky. You've got players like Karl Anthony Towns who was out for 5 months this season. So consistency is really important, and consistency is something Tyrese Halliburton is capable of giving you. So I'm really excited to see the way he grows and the way the Pacers choose to use him in the future. I personally don't believe Tyrese Halliburton is that guy on a championship roster. I don't think he will ever be that guy, but if Tyrese Halliburton is your second best player, you're probably in pretty good shape. And while Indiana isn't a big free agent destination, you have the pieces to go out and to make a trade. If you draft a Sure Thompson, you have somebody like Benedict Mathurin, and you've got players like Andrew Nembhard, and you've got players like Kendall Brown, and you've got players like Isaiah Jackson and Jalen Smith who are young, who might be enticing to a team like the Clippers, who don't have very many young players who might look to rebuild this offseason if they can't re-sign Russell Westbrook. So to make a trade for a player like Kawhi Leonard or like Paul George, or you could trade Benedict Mathurin to Toronto and get somebody like Pascal Siakam to put alongside Miles Turner. So there's a lot to look forward to for the Pacers. There's a whole lot. They have a really bright future. Barring even if there's no trades that they make, I think the Pacers could be a really good team in 2-3 years. They could be on their way to win a championship, to win the NBA Finals. You have anything you want to bring up about the past, present, or future? I've talked a lot about the present and the future. You know a lot about the past. Talk about the Reggie Miller days and
the Reggie Miller days.
That boy Reg.
That's a little far from our realm.
Too bad.
Indiana's just really liked a lot of UCLA guys. Getting Reggie Miller, getting TJ Leaf, who ended up being one of the worst players we've ever had in franchise history. Who else did we get from UCLA? I think Aaron Holiday came from there. Just a lot of UCLA guys. What was it? 2000, I think, was our run we made with Reggie Miller. We played Kobe and Shaq in the finals, which you're not beating Kobe and Shaq. We had
Pistons did it.
We had who was it? Who did we have? We had Jermaine O'Neal. We had Ron Artest. That was just way back in the day. The height of my following of the Pacers was when we went to the Eastern Conference Finals twice in a row, losing to Miami Heat both times. That was back when they had their big three: LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, and that was a really fun Pacers team to watch. Though we had George Hill, who we recently got back in free agency. We had Lane Stevenson, who is just an unbelievable two guard. We had Paul George as the guy at our three. At our four, we had David West, who was a solid piece. And then at our five, we had Roy Hibbert, which is probably my favorite player on that team. If not him, then George Hill. Roy Hibbert, just an absolute monster. He was 7'3" or 7'4", could just block any shot that you try to take within 6 feet. Just an absolute defensive monster. Just fun to see that team play, and
Yeah, that I do love. The Pacers with Paul George, have a really interesting history. And Pacers, Paul George was so good. Didn't he? He almost beat that Cavaliers team, that LeBron Cavaliers team. Or was that Victor Oladipo?
No, that was Victor in 2017, 2018
Yeah, that's right.
when we brought him to 7.
Yeah, Paul George was in OKC by then with MVP Russell Westbrook, the best point guard ever.
Right.
That's one thing I like about the Pacers a lot is that historically they have always had good guards. You have Reggie Miller, you got Paul George. Nowadays you have Tyrese Halliburton. You have this rich history of guard play. That has just always been good. And I mean, the Pacers have always been a winning organization. Other than the past couple of years, they've always been like a consistent playoff team. Indiana basketball is just something that's no other state has. It's just something so special here. Players come here and they want to contend and they want to compete, and that's a good thing. I think they'll really be. Another thing we haven't even brought up is Coach Rick Carlisle. Just 2 years ago, he had 3 years ago, he had statistically the greatest offense ever with the Dallas Mavericks, and the best player on that team was Luka Doncic, and then after that, their second best player was Dwight Powell, who is a certified role player. He sucks. So to take that Dallas team and to have the best statistical offense ever, if we pull it up, their second best player is probably Maxi Kleber, maybe JJ Redick. I guess Kristaps Porzingis, but he spent the entire season injured. Jalen Brunson hadn't quite developed yet into the all-star he is now for the Knicks. You have Trey Burke. Dorian Finney-Smith was pretty okay, Josh Green. But no, this team right here is the best offense ever, statistically. That is all because of Luka Doncic and Rick Carlisle, who is an amazing offensive coach. Defensively, he's okay. I mean, I don't know how much of the defense for the Pacers so far has been him, or if it's just been, Miles Turner being one of the best shot blockers in the league, and, Tyrese Halliburton just being an okay perimeter defender, or if it's been Rick Carlisle coaching them into something. But, I remember I was at a Pacers-Cavaliers game, and Rick Carlisle got thrown out of the game for arguing with a referee. I'll never forget that. I watched Jared Allen get dunked on. I watched Jared Allen get baptized by a man. Who was it? Aaron Nesmith dunked on Jared Allen, and it was one of the coolest memories ever. I was like right here. You see where my sink is? Mm-hmm. I was probably this far away from it, watching it. It was crazy. It was pretty cool. But no, just getting to see things like that, and the rotations that Rick Carlisle will put out because he's so offensive minded. I mean, Tyrese Halliburton coming out of Sacramento. Tyrese Halliburton has a hitch in his jump shot. So it's not all one motion. It's kind of like he gets up and then flicks it. It's kind of weird. It's hard to explain. The way he flicks his wrist is weird, almost like there are pipes in his arms restricting him. And he's still one of the best three-point shooters in the league, and that is because of the coaching of Rick Carlisle and his offensive mindset and the offensive schemes he'll put around Tyrese Halliburton. Because Tyrese Halliburton was not that good of a shooter in Sacramento. And then you also have players like Buddy Hield, who are offensive demons, who aren't too good at defense. But, I mean, your team is rebuilding, so the defensive part of it really isn't that important right now. I haven't even mentioned T.J. McConnell. T.J. McConnell is an okay defender. His playmaking is amazing. I don't know why he's still on the Pacers roster. He's a little out of their timetable. I think T.J. McConnell is 29 years old. And a team like, I think Milwaukee could really use him to come off of their bench and score. He's 31. Not score, sorry, but come off of their bench while Drew Holiday can't play and really, play some okay defense and dish the ball, because that's another thing he's very good at. His court vision is extremely good for a backup point guard. He's exactly what you want in a backup point guard. The only downside is that he can't shoot the ball all that well, but you can hide that. Especially on a team like Indiana, you can roll out a team of a lineup of T.J. McConnell and Benedict Mathurin and Buddy Hield and O'Shea Brissett and Miles Turner, and 4 of those 5 players can shoot. Actually, 3 of those 5 players can shoot really well, and Buddy Hield, Miles Turner, and Benedict Mathurin. So, there's a lot of upside about this team. A lot to look forward to currently. I think they're one piece away. More than one piece. They still need some more consistent role players. Buddy Hield is not really a player you want being your, second leading scorer on a team, and he was that this year for the Pacers, which is not good because that's not what Buddy Hield is. Buddy Hield is a 3-point shooting wing. But, they're just 2 or 3 pieces away from really making an impact in this league. And I think, through the draft or through trades, they could do that. Not through free agency because nobody wants to come to Indianapolis when they could go to LA or they could go to, Golden State. But, there are so many different ways to improve this Pacers roster. Yeah, Tyrese Halliburton shot exactly 40% from 3 this year. You got 42% from Buddy Hield, 37% from 3 from Miles Turner, which from a center is phenomenal. 32% from 3 from Benedict Mathurin, which from my shooting guard isn't that good, but he's a rookie. He's a rookie coming in and shooting 32% from 3, which is not all that bad, really, from a guard. And then, George Hill shot 52% from 3. Dang, oh my gosh. I lied. TJ McConnell shot 44% from 3. Oh my God! I did not know TJ McConnell had that strap on him. So I guess I was wrong, actually. TJ McConnell is literally exactly what you want in a backup point guard. Literally. He can shoot the ball. He passes the ball well. He's a great defender. Wow. I didn't know TJ McConnell was a shooter like that. That's tough. Off 3 threes a game, too. Dude, 44% from 3 off. Sorry. Oh, no. Well, I mean, he's... Okay.
6 attempted, 2 made.
Yeah. No. That's 2-pointers. He's shooting less than 1 3 a game. So, I mean, he's shooting 44% from 3, but he's also shooting less than 1 3 a game. Shooting 0.8 threes a game. So, I mean, I guess whatever. But Buddy Hield is shooting 9 threes a game and hitting 42% of them, which is phenomenal. And then from Tyrese Halliburton, you're getting 7 threes a game, and he's hitting 40% of them, which, again, is phenomenal. So, the 3-point shooting on this team is not something you have to worry about. Well, if you're trying to guard this team, it's something you have to worry about. But, as a fan, that this team will come out and they'll shoot the 3 efficiently. I mean, if you look at this, the worst 3-point shooter on the team who's getting consistent minutes is O'Shea Brissett at 31% from 3, which from my power forward is not good, but it's also not, it's just okay. It's not amazing. But, O'Shea Brissett also isn't somebody who's, coming out there and playing 30 minutes a game. At best, he'll play 20. He's just a role player, and he's really good at that job, clearly, averaging, 31% from 3. And then you've got other, like Benedict Mathurin, averaged 16.7 points a game, shooting 48% from the field, which is just crazy. From a rookie, 50% from the field is absolutely insane. To put that into perspective, you've got a player like Cade Cunningham who shot 41% from the field his rookie year, which while Cade Cunningham came into Detroit being that guy and Benedict Mathurin wasn't that guy when he came to Indianapolis still, Cade Cunningham is supposed to be a generational talent. And Benedict Mathurin is coming in shooting almost 10% better from the field than Cade Cunningham did 2 years ago, his rookie year. So, just crazy talent on this Pacers roster. There's a lot to look forward to in the future. The present is bleak right now for the Pacers, but there's a whole lot to be excited for. You have Tyrese Halliburton might be one of the best point guards in the entire league one day. Miles Turner right now is a top 10 center in the entire NBA. You've got Benedict Mathurin, who's all rookie first team, who finished top 5 in the Rookie of the Year race over Jaden Ivey, and over players like Keegan Murray, over Jabari Smith Jr., who was the 3rd pick in the entire draft. So you have these players. I think Indiana will be okay in the future. I think it's going to be a really rough ride for the next 2-3 years, but I think once they start to really mesh all together the way they're supposed to, I think this team will do some really great things and make the people of Indiana really happy and really proud to be Hoosiers. Because basketball is something so important to all of us, at least all of us that watch sports. So,
All right, that's all we have for the 8th episode. Yeah, we'll be back with the 9th, which is our
Pistons
rant.
rant.
Yeah.